So in the last lecture, that is yesterday's lecture, we were talking about this transportation and assignment models. And we started this transportation and assignment model with syllabus, and we have discussed that there are basic three methods, that is initial feasible methods, that is northwest corner method, then least cost method, and Ogle's approximation method. And out of this, we have uh, again discussed about the first method, that is northwest corner method. And in that any method, the problem which is to be there for the transportation, it should be balanced problem, that whatever the supply and demand, all the supply and demand should be equal. Otherwise, we have to balance the problem and then we can solve the problem. So these are the various steps in the transportation problem, that is find initial feasible solution by one of the basic feasible solution method, test the solution for optimality, improve the solution till it's optimal, and repeat step number 2 or 3 till it become optimal solution. So the methods to find the initial basic solution, already we have discussed that northwest corner method, then Ogle's approximation method, and least cost method. And then in optimization, it is stepping stone method and MODI, that is modified distribution method. So we have discussed this northwest corner rule, and we have considered this example in last lecture, that if there are 3 plants and 3 warehouses, so plant A capacity is 30, plant B capacity is 40, plant C capacity is 30, warehouse P capacity is 45, Q is 35, and R is 20. And in this figure, we know that this is the northwest corner method, that is corner AP or cell AP is the northwest corner method. And here we have to start allocation, that we have to check that we have to check for this plant A, this 30 is the capacity. So we have to check for this plant how much is the capacity, and for warehouse how much is the warehouse accommodation capacity. So this supply and demand. So this plant is called as supply and warehouse is called as demand. We have to check these two figures, and out of these two, whatever the figure is less, we have to allocate that many cells here, because that many units here, because this 13, 11, 8, these are the cost figure, that is to transfer 1 unit from plant A to warehouse P, it requires 13 rupees. And like this, we want to shift this minimum of these two. So here we want to shift 30 units here at cell AP. So like this, we have to continue, and we have shifted the units like this. At AP it is 30, at BP it is 15, at BQ it is 25, at CQ it is 10, at CR it is 20. And here we have to check whether this capacity is balanced, that is 30 plus 15 it is 45, 25 plus 10 it is 35, here it is 20. Horizontally also, or at every plant also, you have to check whether this plant capacity is balanced or it is over or not. So here 30 it is 30, 15 plus 25 40, 10 plus 20 30. And now these many units, this 30 is the figure for units. So 30 units, and for 1 unit it required 13 rupees. So here 13 into 13 means this is the actual cost of transportation. So like this, we have to find out the total cost of transportation, and we got total transportation cost by northwest corner method is 1340. And this is the initial feasible solution, and we have to check whether this solution is feasible or not. And for that, we have the formula to check feasibility. That is, we have here 3 rows and 3 columns and 3 plants or 3 warehouses, means 3 plus 3 6 minus 1. So here, if we are shifting units in 5 allocation, this is called as allocation, shifting of unit 1 2 3 4 5. So in 5 allocation, we are shifting means this is the feasible solution. So like this, we have to check by other methods, and in other method I will explain the procedure in here. This is the actually procedure of minimum cost, that is method, second method. So in the same example, we'll see how to solve this problem by using minimum cost method. So here, same example I have taken, and now check here in the minimum cost method. So allocation started in northwest corner method at northwest corner of this figure or this matrix. But in the minimum cost method, we have to check which is minimum cost out of all these cells. And here we got 8 is the minimum cost. So we have to start allocation from this 8. So for this 8, check which is minimum supply and demand. So here it is warehouse capacity R is 20 and plant A capacity is 30. So here we have to check which is minimum of these two. So here 20 is minimum. So allocate 20 here at AR. So once you are allocating 20 here, you see that here you can see that now you see, once if I am using this 20 all units, don't consider this 20 for next iteration because this capacity is over. And for this plant A, you can see for plant A, 20 units already shifted and only remaining units are 30 minus 20 equal to 10. So for iteration number 2, now consider the remaining matrix, that is this is 3 by 2 matrix, and in this matrix you have to check which is the minimum cost. Sometimes you may find that there is equal cost. In that case you have to consider any one cost. But now here you can see 11 is the minimum, 10. So out of these 10 is the minimum cost, or here thing is wrong because once I am using here 20, but 30 units are remaining, and here this is over. So now consider minimum cost out of this. So here don't consider this solution. Now see 10 is the minimum cost. 10 same numerical we are using. 10 is the minimum cost. So here we have to allocate at 10, and we'll see how to allocate at 10. So if I want to allocate at 10, now don't consider these figures. So we want to allocate at minimum cost, that is at cost 10. So now for 10, consider that is how much is the warehouse capacity is 35 and here it is 30. So allocate 30 units here directly. Allocate 30 units here. And once you are allocating 30 here, this capacity is over, and here out of 35, only 5 is balance. Only 5 is balance. And now you see this row capacity is also over. This row capacity is also over. So now for the next iteration, you can see only these 4 cells are there, and out of these 4 cells, this 30 is over. Now remaining is 10. Here it is 45. Here it is 10, and here it is 40. So here you have to check which is minimum: 13, 11, 14, 16. So here 11 is minimum figure. So 11 is a minimum cost. So at this cost, now you have to allocate the cell. So now allocate. Now check how much is the supply remaining. Here 10 is the remaining. How much here is the remaining? Here 5 is remaining. So directly check which is minimum of these two. So 5 is minimum. Allocate 5 here. Allocate 5 here. Once this 5 is allocated, you see this column capacity is over, and instead of 10, the remaining amount is 5. Remaining amount is 5. And now you can see that this Q is over, R is over, C is over as well. And now you have only 2 cell balance, that is AP and BP. So out of this AP and BP, AP is less. So and 5 is balanced here, and here it is 45. So out of this 5 is minimum. So allocate 5 here. Allocate 5 units here, and now only once. Now this is 4, and this capacity of A is also over. Capacity of A is also over. Now 14 is balanced, and in this 14, remaining units are 40 here. So allocate 40 directly here. Allocate 40 directly here. And now check how many allocations you use. So here it is 1, 2, this 23, 4, and 35. So here 30 is one allocation, 40 is another allocation, 5 is another allocation, this 5 and 20. So these are 5 allocations, and we know that for 3 by 3 matrix, 5 allocations must be there. And for this new numerical, you can calculate how much is the total transportation cost. And this total transportation cost is 13 into 5 plus 11 into 5 plus 8 into 20 plus 14 into 40 plus 10 into 30. So you find out this cost. So that will be the total transportation cost for allocating all these 100 units. 100 units are manufactured and 100 units are transported in the 3 warehouses, that is P, Q, and R. So like this, we have to calculate total transportation cost, and we have to find out optimality, that is how much you can reduce the cost and how much will be the final or optimum transportation cost. It should be minimum possible cost. So this is the another example, that is for minimum cost method. Now we'll see third method, that is Vogel's approximation method. Anybody is having doubt in this minimum cost method? Hello. So
Yes,
in
sir.
this method, we have considered these cost figures, and depending on the cost, depending on the available matrix, wherever is the minimum cost, we have allocated the cells. This is only basic difference between northwest corner method and minimum cost method, right? So third method is Vogel's approximation method or Vogel method. And in this method, we are going to find out the penalties for each row and each column, where the penalty is difference between smallest and second smallest cost, whether it is for the row wise or whether it is for column wise. Select row and column with largest penalty and allocate as much as possible units in that cell. So you will get the least cost in that selected the row or column or in that cell. In case of tie, select any allocation or select allocation arbitrary. Adjust supply and demand and cross out the satisfied row and column. And if row and columns are satisfied simultaneously, only one row and column is crossed. One row or column is crossed and other row or column is allocated 0. So any row or column with 0 supply or demand should not be used in future penalties. So repeat same procedure until this all the supply and demand conditions satisfied or fulfilled. So I will explain this in the same numerical. So we are considering same numerical, that is here you can see, that is these 3 plants are there, 3 warehouses are there, same capacity, these are the cost figures. And now we want to solve this numerical by using Vogel's approximation method. And this method states that I now consider this cost, and for every row find out which is the minimum cost. So here minimum cost is 8. Which is the second minimum cost? Second minimum cost is 11. Find out difference between these two. So here difference between these two is called as penalty, and the difference is 11 minus 8 equal to 3. So mark here penalty 3. Mark here penalty 3 initially. Then now see for row number 2, which is the minimum figure or minimum cost, 13 is the minimum cost, which is second minimum, it is 14. Difference between these two, it is 1. So then 10 and 12, difference is 2. Then now go for the column wise. So here for column number 1, minimum is 12. Second minimum or another figure is 13. Difference between these two is 1. So here 10, 11, difference is 1. So here 8, 12, difference is 4. Difference is 4, and this is called as iteration number 1. This is iteration number 1. Now these are called as penalties. These are the row penalties, these are the column penalties, and out of these we have to find out the largest number. Find out largest number and go either for that row or column. And here I got 4 is the largest number, and if I got this column R or warehouse R, so here it is indicating that if I am using this warehouse R for allocation, I can minimize the cost, because in the column R there is a lowest cost available. So if I am allocating maximum unit in that lowest cost, the total cost can be minimized. So here check out of these two, that is supply and demand, which is minimum. So minimum is 20. Allocate 20 here. Allocate 20 here. So once 20 is allocated, don't consider this column for next iteration, and here the remaining supply capacity is 10. Like this. So whatever the procedure we use for the previous method, we have to use same procedure, but first we have to find out these penalties, and wherever you are getting highest penalty from that row or column, you have to check which is the minimum figure, and at that minimum figure allocation should be there. Like this, we have to repeat this procedure till all allocations or all these 100 units will be that shift to the various warehouses. So here see, I have solved this numerical, complete numerical here. So in the row difference or row penalties, we have marked for iteration number 1. Then column penalties we have marked for iteration number 1. Then we got 4 is the biggest difference or biggest penalty. So here we started with 4, and this is iteration number 1. So here we got that once this 20 out of 20 units are allocated at warehouse R, the capacity of warehouse R is over, and out of this supply, here you can get remaining 10 units for plant A, which is to be shifted. Now, don't consider this warehouse R for next iteration, that is iteration number 2. So in the iteration number 2, in the available matrix, repeat the same procedure and find out difference between two figures, that is lowest figure and second lowest figure. So here 11, 13, so difference is 2. 14, 16, difference is 2. Then 10, 10, 12, difference is 2. Again, here 12, 13, difference is 1. 10, 11, difference is 1. So find out which is the biggest one. So you can see there is a tie. You can see three figures are same. That is 2, 2, 2. So consider any one. So I have considered this. You can consider any other. Then also you will get the same answer. So here in this now row, which find out which is minimum cost. So 11 is the minimum cost. So I came here, that is at cell AQ. So at AQ, now I have to allocate the cell. So check which is supply and demand is minimum. So here it is 35, here it is 10. So here I have allocated 10 because 10 is the minimum, and out of this 35, 25 is remaining for the next iteration. And now you see here this A capacity is over. Already we have used 20 and 10, that is 30 total we have used. So this A plant A capacity is over, warehouse R capacity is over, and this 2 by 2 matrix is remaining, that is for plant B and plant C and warehouse P and warehouse Q. Now you see, now again we have to repeat the same procedure, that is find out difference for the row and difference for the column, that is called as penalty. So here I am getting again 2 and here also 2. Difference is now changed here 2 and here it is 10 and 16. So difference is 6. So consider this, whichever is maximum, you have to consider this, that penalty. And in that row or column check which is the minimum figure. So here I got 10 is the minimum figure, and for this 10 here the supply is 30 and demand is 25. So consider minimum figure. So 25, allocate 25 as it is here at 10. So 25 allocated, and this warehouse capacity is over for the next iteration. And for out of 30, now only 5 units are balanced for the next iteration. And now here you can see for the next iteration, you can see only 2 figures are there or 2 cells are there. And out of these 2 figures, only there are here 12 is the minimum cost. So allocate units first at 12. So check minimum that number of units. So 5 are the minimum number of units. Allocate 5 here and remaining 40 here as well as 40 here. So allocate 40 here. So like this, we have to use Ogle's approximation method, and in this Ogle's approximation method, we have considered the penalties, that is difference between the minimum cost and second minimum cost, and we are considering that difference as a penalty, and wherever the penalty is highest, from that point we are going to allocate either in row or column the number of units, and from that cell again we have to check which is the cell having minimum cost in either that row or column, and at that once the cell or that cell is selected, check minimum supply and demand and allocate that units there. And once all the these units shifted from the plants to warehouse, and there is no units available to shift from plant to warehouse, you have to check that whether it is feasible solution or not, whether it is following the rule, that is m plus n minus 1. So here in this case for 3 by 3 matrix, it is allocations must be 5, and we are getting 5 allocation, means this is satisfying the condition of that feasibility. So here we have to find out transportation cost, and by this we are getting the transportation cost 1140. So now you see here we have solved the same numerical by using various methods, that is by using first, that is northwest corner method. By northwest corner method we got the transportation cost 1340, and by here you can see by using, so here also we are getting less cost, that is 1140 we may get here by using minimum cost method, and by using Ogle's approximation also you can see here we got 1140. So if we compare these 3 methods, so it gives indication that randomly if you are using northwest corner method without considering the cost, and if you are allocating the units or if you are transporting unit from that plants to warehouses, in that case you have to pay more, and our aim is to save the transportation cost. Our aim is to minimize the transportation cost. So if the choice is given to you, In that case, the minimum cost method and Vogel's approximation method, these two are the best method for initial feasible solution. Don't go for northwest corner method because it will increase number of iteration or it is time consuming. It will increase the calculations. So here in between this Vogel's approximation method and in least cost method or minimum cost method. So if you see in the Vogel's approximation method also we have to calculate the penalties and then we have to allocate the units. But for least cost method, directly you can see whichever is the least cost available in the available matrix or reduced matrix and directly you can allocate the cell. So in comparison with least cost method and Vogel's approximation method, least cost method is the best method or it is minimizing time, minimizing iterations. So if it is not mentioned anywhere which method is to be used, first you have to try with least cost method. Second priority is to be given to the Vogel's approximation method and third priority is given to the northwest corner method. So these three are the initial feasible solution methods. Now phase 2 or step 2 in this transportation model is optimization methods. And in the optimization methods, we have two optimization methods, that is stepping stone method and modified distribution or UV method. So here we'll see one by one what is stepping stone method and what is modified distribution method. So in the so here the solution we got from the initial feasible solution methods, that solution we are using as it is for starting the stepping stone method or UV method or modified distribution method. And we want to improve that solution. So improvement, how we are considering the improvement? When we are getting minimum cost for next iteration, in that case we are considering that next solution is best as compared to previous one because it is giving the least cost. So in the stepping stone method, so there are various steps. So stepping stone, the name itself means throwing the stone. Stone means here we are considering allocations. So allocations in number of units, we are shifting in a group. That group is called as allocation. And here, if we able to rearrange that units by using these optimization methods, we are checking that whether it is possible to minimize this transportation cost or not. And here you can see in stepping stone method, the first step is that for each unoccupied cell, calculate the reduced cost by Modi method or by stepping stone method. Select the unoccupied cell with the most negative reduced cost. So we have to find out net cost, and for the net cost for unoccupied cell. So here when we are shifting the units, we are saying that these are the occupied cells, and if units are or that cells are not having any units shifted, then it is called as unoccupied cell. So for all the unoccupied cells, we are calculating the that net cost method. I will tell you how to calculate the net cost for each cell. And for that unoccupied cell, wherever you are getting the most negative reduced cost. So here it indicates if there is negative figure in that table, it indicates that there are chances of improvement. So we have to use number of iterations till we get all the net cost either zero or positive. If it is Negative cost means it indicates that there is chance to improve the solution, and if all the cells are having either positive value or either zero value, that is the final solution, and there we have to stop because this is iterative method. So here for unoccupied cells, generate stepping stone path by forming a closed loop with this cell and occupied cells by drawing connecting alternating horizontal and vertical lines. So I will explain this point in the numerical. Determine minimum allocation where the subtraction is to be made along with this path. Add this allocation to all cells where additions are to be made, and subtract these allocations to all cells where subtractions are to be made along the stepping stone path. So I will explain this third step also in the numerical. So this solution I have taken, that is for stepping stone method. Purposely I have taken the final solution of northwest corner method. And here because uh, by if I am using the solution for that least cost method or oval approximation method, most of the time that will be the final answer. And to understand how to solve this problem, I have purposely taken this as a solution, that is this as a that is northwest corner method problem, because two will get number of iterations and you will come to know that how to solve this problem. So this is the solution we got by northwest corner method. So here 30 units allocated, here at BP 15 units allocated, at BQ 25 units shifted or allocated, at CQ 10 units shifted, and CR it is 20 units shifted. That is all 100 units shifted in 5 groups or in 5 allocations. And we have calculated the transportation cost, and we got total transportation cost is 1340. Now we want to check whether this is the final solution or is it possible to reduce this cost by stepping stone or UV method. So here this is the this was the solution we got by the northwest corner method. So here we are preparing this table. So you can see in this table I have written here unallocated squares. Means if these 30 units are there or this AP, in this AP 30 units are shifted, means AP is called as allocated cell. But here But here at AQ, this is called as unallocated cells, because at this cell there are no units shifted at AQ, or at cell AR no units are there. So this cell is called as unallocated cell. BR is unallocated cell. CP is unallocated cell. So we want to check that is there any chance to shift some units from this allocated cell to this unallocated cell, so that we can able to reduce the transportation cost. So here I have prepared this table, and in this table the first column is made, that is unallocated cell. So all these unallocated cells are written here: AQ, AR, BR, and this CP. These 4 unallocated cells are written. Now, next column is for the closed path. Now we want to make a closed path. We want to make a closed path for every this unallocated square. So how to make a closed path for this unallocated cell, that is AQ? I want to make that is closed path for this cell AQ. And for making this closed path, the rule is that you have to mark either horizontal or vertical lines No, or you cannot use any diagonal line. Use only horizontal and vertical line, and you can change the direction. You can start with either vertical or horizontal line, but you can change the direction from horizontal to vertical or vertical to horizontal only from the allocated cell. Now you see, I have to mark from here to horizontal and vertical lines, and I have to change the direction only from the allocated cell. So at this AQ, there are three chances. I can go here, but there is no allocated cell. I can go down. Here I have allocated cell. If I can go more down, here also I have allocated cell. But if I am moving left or right, I cannot make a closed path from the allocated cell. So because of that, I can see here easily that if I want to make a closed path from AQ, so I have to mark this horizontal line. I have to mark this left horizontal. Now here you can see I have marked here vertical line, and from this allocated cell I have a choice, or I can change the direction. So here I have marked horizontal line. From this allocated cell I can change the direction. I come to this 30, and from this I can change the direction. So I came to my original place. So here this is the closed path. This is called as closed path, and we are checking that whether there is a possibility to shift some units to this AQ. So mark their AQ as a positive. At AQ, I want to add something. That's why mark positive or addition sign for AQ. Here for alternate corners, now make negative and positive sign. So I have to start with positive. So second is negative, third is positive sign. This third corner is positive sign. Only consider corners. In between that, any cell is there. Don't consider that cell. Only consider from where you have changed the direction. In between cells are there. You don't consider that cell. And here also it is negative, because I started with positive. Mark alter at alternate or mark at every corner alternate sign. So I started with positive sign, then it is negative, then it is positive, then it is negative. And now why I have marked this positive and negative? Because I want to check net cost. Now consider the cost. Use these symbols, and this plus symbol means for this cell, that is AQ, is a plus symbol. For this BQ it is minus symbol, and cost of AQ is 11, cost of BQ is 16. So mark this cost figure with these symbols, either positive or negative, and you can see here I have marked this close path, this AQ minus BQ, because this AQ is plus, BQ is minus. Then the third is, that is BP is plus and AP is minus. And here write, or here take the addition of all these cost figure with those symbols. So for 11 it is plus sign. So I have written here plus 11. For BQ here it is minus 16. Then for BP it is plus 14. So AP it is minus 13. And if I take this total, I got here it is minus 4. Means it indicates that negative sign indicates that there are chances of shifting some units to this cell. So if I can transfer some units from the available matrix to AQ, it will reduce the total transportation cost. So like this, I have to mark it for the AR. I have to mark it for AR. Now we'll see how to mark it for AR. Now AR, this is next. So for AR, mark plus sign here. Now we want to add something at AR. For AR, either you start with this left direction or you can draw the vertical line, because again we want to make a closed loop. So here I started with that downward vertical line. Then I have changed the direction from the allocation. I have changed direction from allocation to vertical. Then because I cannot see here any allocation in the upward direction, I can go to the left. Here I have the allocation. Again, I can go up because I have one more allocation here, and I come to original place. Now mark the corner with alternate sign. So here it is plus, here it is minus. Mark here it is plus, so here it is minus. Then mark, so here plus minus, here plus, here actually minus, and here it is plus, and here it is minus. So don't consider this symbol. But now you see the 6 corners we got with either plus or minus sign. Consider these cost of respective cell. So here start with 8. So I have written that is plus 8, minus 12, plus 10, plus 10, that minus 16, plus 14, minus 13, and I got the total cost is minus 9. So here minus 9 I got. Minus 9 means if I am able to shift some unit to AR, here also I can save the cost or I can minimize the cost. So it indicates. And for BR, now you see, I want to repeat the same procedure at BR. I want to repeat the same procedure at BR, and now we'll see how to repeat this procedure at BR. So at BR, mark here plus, and now here easily you can see, here you can make a square or here you can make a loop. So plus minus plus minus. Check this, that is plus 13 minus 12 plus 10 minus 16, and here we have written and we got minus 5. So if I am able to shift the units at here BR also, it can save the cost or it can reduce the transportation cost. And one more last that is remaining, you can see that is one more, this CP is remaining. And for this CP, you can see that for this CP, this mark here plus, start with CP. Here also easily you can get the square, that is vertical, horizontal, then down and towards left. So mark minus, plus minus, this is plus and this is minus. And take the addition of all these 4 corners with respect to their sign. So it is plus 12 minus 14, then plus 16 minus 10, and total is plus 4. This it indicates that if I am shifting units to this CP, it will not improve the solution and transportation cost will not reduce. So here, once I got this next cost by this method, we have to check which is the most negative value, and most negative value is 9, minus 9. So here this table or net cost figures indicate that if I am shifting some units to this AR, it will reduce the total transportation cost. And we have seen that total transportation cost we got for the previous solution is 1340 rupees. Now, if you check the solution, now we want to check the for this solution. Now, finally, we got that here it gives indication that it will be more beneficial when if we shift the units to AR. And for this AR, already we have considered the how to shift the units, and we got this table or this closed loop we got for this AR. For this AR, this was the closed loop. Here it is plus minus, this is plus and that is minus. So here now we have to check that at minimum corner, so this is positive corner and this is negative corner. At negative corner, which is the minimum allocations are available, or which are the minimum allocations are available. So allocation are three, we have three negative corners. Here allocations are 20. At this negative corner, allocations are 25. And at this corner, allocations are 30. Means at negative corner, we have to check what are the minimum allocations. So minimum allocations are 20. So we have to shift this 20 from this CR to AR, and here we have to shift this 20 allocation. But we have to make the balance like this. Here you see, once I have shifted these allocations here, now wherever there is a mark plus, add 20, wherever there is a minus, subtract 20. Like this, again, we want to match this figure, that is this 45 remains 45 after allocations also. And after this iteration, you can see once we have made that step, so here total is 30, here total is 45, here is 35, here is 40, and this is 35. So all the horizontal capacities of plant and vertical capacities of warehouse remain as it is. And if we shift some allocations like this, now we'll check whether there is change in the total transportation cost or not by these allocations. And here you see we got that transportation cost is reduced to 1160 from 1340. So like this, we have to again perform this all number of repetitions or number of iterations till in that net cost either we will get all the figures either positive or zero figure. So like this, we have to here continue, and here for this today's lecture we stop here, and we'll continue for the we'll continue same remaining topic or remaining points in the next lecture. Just a minute, I will take the attendance. So do you have any doubt in today's lecture? Hello.
Sir, yes, I have a doubt.
Hello.
Hello.
Ah.
Sir, at the end, you added those 20, some plus and minus. Will you please explain that once?
Okay. Just a minute.
Sir, I have recorded the attendance.
You have recorded. Please, you send that attendance to me.
Yes,
because
sir.
I have also downloaded.
Yes. I'll share it with you.
Okay, no problem. Just a minute. See here, we have calculated this net change or net cost, and we have to find out either there is negative cost or not. So here we got three negative costs, and in that three negative cost, we have to check which is the most negative cost. So we got -9. So like this, we got AR, and for this AR, we have here now this what this indicate that AR is indicate that if I am shifting some units to this AR, it will reduce the total transportation cost. So here it indicates that I have to shift some units here. So mark plus. Now from this again make a closed loop. Make a closed loop. Already you have the closed loop for AR. Already you have prepared this closed loop. Mark this same closed loop here. right? Now we want to add some units here. So mark alternately plus and minus. So here plus. So another corner it is minus. Next plus, next minus, another plus, and next minus. Now here I want to add some units at AR, but how many units? For that, I have to check that at negative corner, what are the minimum units are there. So here at negative corner, so this at negative corner here it is 20. At this negative corner, I have 25. At BQ, another negative corner AP, I have 30 units. So I have to compare these units, and in these units, these are the 30 units, 25 units, and 20 units. So wherever the minimum units are there, that unit you have to shift. Because you see why we are doing this. Because if I am shifting this minimum units from 20 to this 20 from CR to AR, means here it becomes 0. And I want to maintain my total allocation 5. Means if I am shifting this allocation, I have to complete total units to another place. Then only I can maintain my total allocation 5. Right? So because of that, we are checking that, because if I am shifting here 25 here, so in that case, you see here it becomes, or we cannot maintain that whatever the allocations should be 5, we are not able to maintain 5 allocation in that case. That's why we are checking what are the minimum allocation, and completely we are eliminating that cell for allocation and we are adding at another place. And like this, here if I am shifting from 20 from this CR to AR, means here this allocation becomes 0. These allocations are not there now. And one more allocation added here, and like this total allocation remains same. This is one thing is that I want to maintain 5 allocation as it is, and another thing is that I cannot change, because this is the procedure to find out the transportation cost. Because of changing this allocation, I cannot change the capacity of plant A, which is already 30. Plant B capacity it is 40. Plant C capacity it is 30. Or these warehouse capacities also I have to maintain as it is. So like this, you see in the next figure, I have changed or I have shifted the units from this cell to this cell, and now I want to maintain this plant A capacity 30 as it is. So once I have added 20 here, I have to subtract 20 from this another cell, then only here I can maintain 30. So like this, R capacity is also 20. So in the previous iteration, here there was 20. So I have to reduce this 20, then only I can maintain this warehouse R capacity as 20. Like this, we have to maintain, or in one step, we are able to maintain this, that wherever there is a plus, add the units, that is units which are at negative corner, find out the minimum allocations at negative corner, and those units, add those units wherever there is a plus sign, subtract those units wherever there is negative sign. And by performing that step, we got this table, and this table is satisfying the condition of all these plant A, B, C, as well as warehouse capacity P, Q, R, these capacities, as well as now our aim was to reduce the transportation cost, and now check whether the transportation cost is reduced or not. So here transportation cost is reduced.
Sir, can you explain, sir, how you took the loop, sir? That
Hello?
I didn't understand. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Sir, can you
repeat your
sir,
question.
Sir, can you explain how you took the loop, sir? That I didn't understand, sir.
Took the loops.
Yes, sir.
Loops.
Yes,
Here
sir,
you
this one
see
loop.
how I have taken the loops. I started from this cell, that is AR, and for forming the loop, rules are you can mark either horizontal or vertical lines. And in horizontal and vertical lines, you can change the direction only from the allocated cells. allocated cells means already units are there or not, or units are there. So, and you have to, whatever the starting point, you have to come to the same points, then only it will become closed loop. So I started from point AR, so I can go down or I can go the left by vertical line or horizontal line, and I can change the direction wherever there is allocated cells. So here at 13, no allocations are there. So I can continue up to allocated cell. So 20 is allocated cell. I can able to change direction from here. Now from the CQ, but there is no scope for go to CP. Then I have to go up wherever allocated cells are like. And like this, I have to come to my original state. And this will become closed loop. And use this, that is alternate plus and minus signs for the cost, and by using these figures find out these figures, by using this figure find out the net cost for each and every unallocated sphere. So like this we have to repeat the steps. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So in the next lecture, this numerical was not completed in this lecture. We will continue the same numerical in next lecture, tomorrow's lecture. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have recorded this lecture, and these recorded lectures are available in MS Team. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
You
but we
can
are not able
see
to
the
see this.
recorded lecture. If any doubt is there, or in the next lecture we'll discuss if it is not clear.
Hello, sir.
Hmm.
But how can we see this lecture? Because on these Teams we have not the channel for OR.
Like for only one or two lectures. After that, you can able to see this channel, or in that channel, I will add again. I will download this lecture and I will add in your channels. Okay. Otherwise, now that robotics and automation student, you can download the videos and you can share. Otherwise, I will share that. No problem. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.